Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. My name is Alpa Sharma, and we are continuing with our series on Idioms Made Easy, where we try to memorize so many idioms in a very easy manner. We link them to stories, we link them to incidents, and if we know the background of it, memorizing idioms becomes a cakewalk for all of us. How many of you here? I hope you can see me clearly. I hope I am clearly audible and visible to everyone. Okay, yes, looks like that. Okay, so before I proceed with the session and before I start teaching you idioms, before I start narrating stories to you, there are a few things that we will talk about. The first thing is if you're targeting IPMAT and UChat for 2022, we have a new batch that we've launched for you. Rush up, hurry up, enroll yourself at the earliest if these two examinations are your target. And if you are targeting IPMAT, BUJAT, SCT, and PAT, these examinations, these BB entrance examinations, we've recently launched batch 3 for it. Again, the target year is 22. So you could enroll yourself for this batch at the soonest because we do not have a lot of time left for these examinations. The sooner you enroll, the more beneficial it would be for you. Neha ma'am, Ankur sir, Vinod sir, Salik sir, Rabia ma'am, all are going to be teaching in this batch. So this is it. Okay. Good afternoon, Yashashvi. How are you today? Good afternoon, Pari. Okay. So, Pari, Yashashvi, and everyone else who's watching me, what I'll do is I'll first we'll quickly revise what we did in the last class, in the last time, that is session number 3 of Idioms Made Easy. We'll quickly revise that and then we'll start off with memorizing and trying to know the history behind some more idioms. Okay, I'm absolutely good, Rafa. Thank you so much for asking. I hope you're doing good too. Okay, so hi Trasik, you did not come in the Hindu editorial class today. Why did you not come? By the time you answer this, let's start. Oh, okay. The meanings are here. कोई बात नहीं. Let's quickly revise it. So the first idiom we did was straight from the horse's mouth. So there was a story in horse races, which horse would win. So what if the horse himself tells you that I'm going to win or I'm going to lose? That is, you have an information, a piece of information that's authentic and that comes from trusted authorities. That is straight from the horse's mouth. The second idiom we did in the previous classes was bee's knees. And there were two stories I narrated to you, right? Good afternoon, Neha. Okay, so, oh, Trasik, you have to change your schedule. Looks like that. Hi, Vishal, how are you? Okay, guys, before I continue with the revision, tell me, have you been sharing my videos? If you haven't been doing that, you have to do that, okay? I expect this from all of you. Share it with your school friends, share it with your seniors, anyone who you think is preparing for any competitive examination who could be benefited out of these videos. You have to share it, okay? All right. So the next one, bees' knees. One story we heard was there was a common belief that bees store their honey in their knees. That was the common belief. And thus, the meaning came out something that's excellent or something that is perfect. So, that could be linked to the bee's knees. The third one is burning ears. It was a common belief that if your left ear is burning, somebody's talking bad about you. Or if your right ear is burning and it turns red, somebody's talking good about you. So ultimately, burning ears was when you're being talked about. That is burning ears. These are the idioms we did in the previous class. It's a revision of these. The next one, pull out all the stops. So in a musical instrument that's like a pipe, there were stops. And every time you pull out a stop, you would aim at increasing its volume, increasing its sound. And the maximum volume can be reached when you pull out all the stops. Thus, pulling out of all the stops means to make a great, oh, just a minute, guys. Yes, to make great effort to achieve something. That is pulling out all the stops. I hope this makes sense to everyone. Yes, Chastik. So evidence from a reliable source is from straight from the horse's mouth. Combined painting of humans and animals was another. Oh yes, I had given you a homework in my previous class. Did you do the homework? If you haven't done it, you could go back to my previous video, that is part 3. Watch it again, do the homework, and then we'll be discussing it. Okay? So the last one, up to the scratch. It was about a wrestling match when there were no ringing of a bell to start off the match and to end the match. So the referee would draw a line. He would scratch a line, and then both the opponents had to cross over the line to say that they are fit enough to start off the match. It was something that was acceptable. Okay? All right. So, all right. Here it is to be acceptable. The next one. Now, just a second. Okay. So, these idioms were the revision from previous classes. Now, quickly, let's move on to the idioms that we're going to start off with today's session. The first one. But before I start, have you shared the video? If you haven't, do it right now. By the time I answer your questions, share it right away. Okay? And give me a thumbs up once you've shared it. Thumbs up once you've shared the video. Don't share it with me in my Telegram group, okay? Don't do that. Genuinely share it with everybody you know. So let's move on with our first idiom of the day. Let the cat out of the bag. What do you think it means? What is the meaning of this idiom? Let the cat out of the bag. Thank you, Aman. Thank you, my child. Letting the cat out of the bag. What do you think is the meaning of this idiom? Shasik, meaning of the idiom. Let me tell you a story, okay? So some farmers, when they would go to the market to sell, to reveal information, okay? Okay. Backrunner, back to the story. The secret is out. Yes, letting the secret out. अब इसके पीछे का story सुनाती हूँ आपको बहुत interesting story है. To reveal something, yes. So when farmers used to go to a market to sell the products, some would want to sell a piglet maybe or pigs maybe, rather the piglet, the small ones. And instead of a pig, they would just put a cat inside it and go sell it in the market, saying it's a piglet. But what if the piglet comes out, the cat comes out, and there is no piglet inside? You divulge a secret, you disclose a secret. That is, you reveal a secret. That is the story behind the idiom from the farmers who go to the markets for selling piglets. Instead, they would sell a cat, and thus the secret was uncovered. So, the meaning of the idiom is to divulge a secret. The cat says, hey, it's a cat inside and not a piglet, as you had mistakenly assumed. So, to reveal a secret, to blurt out truth that was hidden from people, that is letting the cat out of the bag. I hope everyone gets it. Yes. Now, let's move on to, thank you, Vishal. Now, let's move on to the next idiom. Here it is. The next one, eat humble pie. It's not a very commonly used one. What do you think is its meaning? If you cannot guess it, I can help you with the story behind that. Let me see how many of you know the answers. Letting the, to eat the humble pie. Thank you, Shweta. Thank you, my child. It's a privilege, certainly all mine. But I hope you let others also be benefited with the session. Please share it. Thank you. Come down to earth. Okay. Good guess. चलो राफत आपको स्टोरी सुनाती हूँ फिर गेस करते हैं ठीक है तो स्टोरी ऐसा है कि जब हंटिंग के लिए लोग जाते थे और हंटिंग के बाद उनका एक फीस्ट होता था, जो जो वो हंट करके लेके आते थे, डियर या कोई और एनिमल को कुक करके, एंड इट यूज्ड टू बी अ पार्टी, इट यूज्ड टू बी अ फीस्ट. And then in the previous class, I had explained to you how when a meat is cut, there are good cuts and then there are bad cuts. That is, pieces and parts that are considered more delicious than other parts. So, shoulder was considered a bad cut. Similarly, heart and liver and entrails of animals were considered bad cuts. So, the good cuts would be given to the head of the hunting team or the head of the stage, and the bad cuts would be given to people who come lower in the ranking. So there was a phrase, a word that was used, that was numbles for bad cuts. Numbles se bana. Umbles would be baked into a pie and served to the people who would become coming low in their ranking. So umbles se bana humble. अब आपने किसी को एक पाई दी है बेक करके अम्बल्स के साथ, दैट इज बैड कट ऑफ मीट के साथ, पुअर कट ऑफ मीट के साथ आपने एक पाई बेक करके दी किसी को और आपने बोला ईट द हम्बल पाई. ऑब्वियसली वो रैंकिंग में लो है और आपने बैड कट्स की पाई बनाई है. इसका मीनिंग निकल के आता है टू एडमिट दैट यू आर इन अ लोअर रैंक, apologize because of it, because you don't deserve good cut. You take the bad cut, you bake a pie for out of it and you eat it to accept that you did a mistake. Or maybe to apologize is to eat a humble pie. So humble aya, humble se. Remember that. That's going to help you remember this idiom throughout. Okay? We should earn a living by doing something good. That's a good guess though, Bakrana. Very good guess. कट क्या है? ट्रस्ट क्लास में बताया था. गुड कट्स होते हैं, बैड कट्स होते हैं. सो आपने जो पीपल हु आर नॉन वेजिटेरियंस, आपने ये कॉमनली सुना होगा, वेजिटेरियंस ने भी सुना होगा, that if a chicken is cooked, everybody would be fighting for the leg piece because it is considered to be the most tender and delicious part of the whole chicken. और इसीलिए उसको एक गुड कट बोला जाता है, जो ज्यादा डिलीशियस होता है, ज्यादा डिमांड में होता है. एंड देन बैड कट इज समथिंग व्हिच अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल डोंट डिमांड एंड there's not a lot of money that comes by selling it. Okay, all right, okay. So Aman, I think that was for me. If that was for me, thank you so much, my child, thank you. But if that was not for me, I'll still keep it with myself. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट इडियम आया ये सबको समझ में? ईट द हम्बल पाई, प्लीज टेक अ स्लाइस, प्लीज अपोलोजाइज. तो ये sarcastically आप किसी को बोल सकते हो, प्लीज टेक अ स्लाइस ऑफ द हम्बल पाई. दैट इज आपको आई थिंक अपोलोजाइज कर लेना चाहिए अब अपनी रॉन्ग डूइंग के लिए. ऑलराइट, नेक्स्ट वन, लेट्स मूव टू द सेकंड इडियम, द थर्ड वन. Writing is on the wall. Very, very interesting story behind that. I'm sure most of you wouldn't know it. The writing is on the wall. क्या meaning होगा इसका? कौन बताएगा? Any guesses? The writing is on the wall. Shekhar, okay. I'll do that bilingually, but I'll make sure I explain everything in complete English as well. Okay? The message is already given. Very, very close, Trafik. That's a very good guess. Anyone else? It's a very good guess. Oh, I'm so glad, Pari. I'm really, really happy. Okay. The message already written or known to all? Okay, very good guess. Now let me explain the story. Let me explain the story here. So this idiom comes from the Bible. Okay, and there's a story that is written in the Bible. And there was a book of Daniel, and the story goes like this, that God had to punish this specific king because he would not respect God, and he would be drinking a lot, which was still okay, but he would be drinking in the goblets that were supposed to be God's own goblets, and something where prayers were held, those goblets that were used as a part of prayers and everything else. But he, this king, would drink into them. So he did something that was not acceptable, and God had to punish him. So one day, God sends his own hand to write down something on the wall, which is written like this. And look at this. I'll show you a picture of this incident as well. But he did not understand what it meant. This king wouldn't understand what this phrase means. So what the king did, the king said, okay, apne followers ko bola, please go and read it out. I don't understand what it says. Of course, the meaning was your end is near. Your downfall is near. But he was so busy drinking and revelry and partying that he wouldn't even pay heed to what was written. Everybody else would understand that. Then he sent Daniel to interpret what was written. Ultimately, his downfall was headed, and which he had ignored. So the writing is on the wall means that a clear sign that okay, now onwards something unpleasant will happen if you don't budge, if you don't change yourself. Something unpleasant about to happen in the future is clearly written on the wall. If we keep fighting on casteism, it's written on the wall that doom isn't away. So it's written on the wall, something negative will come out of it. Do you get this, everyone? Was it interesting? Yes, it's a very interesting story. Yes, Trasik. Ma'am, I want to wake up early just to attend the tutorial classes. Thank you, guys. Why so generous, all of you today? I've never had so many compliments in one class together. I am certainly going to gain 5 more kilos today. I'm so glad. Thank you, everyone. That makes my day. That is my effort is worthwhile. Along with sharing this class, I keep repeating that. Do not forget it. Okay. Yes, Trasik. It is. Augur could also be for bad things. Remember. Okay. Chalo. So I'll show you the picture of God sending his own hand to write that phrase. And everybody was scared, but this king was not scared. He did not budge. He said, I am going to get into drunken revelry and party and not care about anything else. And thus his end was near. Let's move to the next idiom, everyone. Take with a pinch of salt. It's a common one. What do you think it means? What do you think it means? Rafat, surprisingly, I'm genetically blessed. It doesn't happen with me. ये हो क्या रहा है आज ट्रस्टिक? ये हो क्या रहा है? ये अब बहुत this is too much for me. I cannot take so much of pleasing statements. I just cannot take it in a day. कल के लिए सेव करके रखो, कल और बोलना, ठीक है? अब take with a pinch of salt का मतलब क्या है? क्या ये can it be used in our conversation? The one that we're having right now? Any guesses? Take with a pinch of salt. So I'll tell you the story behind this. Okay, so sometimes it was assumed back in 1647 and the 1600s, it was assumed, it was a Roman belief that if you eat your food with a grain of salt, it's easy for you to swallow it. Similarly, some medications also stated that mix a grain of salt in that medication and then gulp it. You would have added advantage of it. You wouldn't be poisoned with that salt that is added to your medication. Thus, the meaning comes out accepting something, but maybe you are skeptical about it, maybe you are doubtful about it, yet accepting it is taking with a grain of salt. So when I say, okay, eat your food with a grain of salt, you may be doubtful about it. How will it help me? but you still accept it because ma'am is going to ask you to do it. Or maybe when I say mix your medication with a grain of salt and then gulp it, you will not be poisoned. You are doubtful about the suggestion, but you still accept it because I have asked you to do it. So accepting something. So this man is saying something to him. He still is doubtful about it, but still accepting it. He is taking it with a pinch of salt. So whatever you guys are saying here, I am taking it with a pinch of salt today. Okay? I hope everyone gets the meaning. We can easily link it to the conversation we are having in the class today. Yes, I think it's a good sentence. You take useless advice with a pinch of salt. Maybe it helps you, maybe it doesn't because you're skeptical. Alright, I hope everyone gets it. So, the Supreme Court took the government affidavit in Pegasus case with certainly. Because the Supreme Court had no choice. The Supreme Court had to accept it. That's the sad reality. He took it with a pinch of salt. Okay, so let's move to the next idiom. Bigwig. Who is the bigwig? Who do you call a bigwig? Oh, here you go. Any guesses? Anyone? Who do you call a bigwig? A lot of you would know that. It's easy. Any guesses? Who wears a bigwig? Think of it that way. Anyone? Anyone? Let me tell you the story. A disguise, okay, a rich person. Good guess. Very, very good guess. Okay, let me tell you the story. Have you seen pictures of the British era of those Britishers wearing the huge artificial wigs? Most of them would do that. They wouldn't keep their hair normal, naturally growing. They would wear wigs. Most of them would get their head shaved so that they could wear a wig. The people, that is the story. People who belong to upper caste, richer people, influential people, the bigger the wig, the more influential you come across. So an important person, look at him. हमने ऐसी कितनी paintings देखी होंगी. We've seen so many pictures, paintings of Britishers, of judges as well wearing wigs because they are supposedly important people in the society. So a bigwig is a person who is influential, who has a clout, and who is also important. That is a bigwig. Okay, so all the examinations, okay, any examination in BBA that asks you synonyms, antonyms, IPM does it a lot. Okay, both the IPMs, it does it a lot. And apart from that, you also have it in DUChat. Idioms are directly asked a lot of times. If you haven't seen my previous 3 classes on idioms, please watch them. This is the 4th class. Tomorrow, same time, 12:30, I'll be coming up with a 5th class in the series. I hope you get the meaning here, everyone. Okay. So, that is the meaning of the idiom. These were the 5 idioms we did for today. I'm here for 5 more minutes. If you have any doubt, I could. Yeah, that's actually the point, Rasik. But somebody who would not be happy with the natural hair would think I would wear a wig, because wig is a representation of the fact that you belong to. It was a representation of the fact that you belong to an influential family and are pretty rich. तो इसलिए बाल कटवा के ही wig पहन दिया. Okay, guys. So I'll be coming live again tomorrow at 12:30 with another session in the series. I'll be teaching you more idioms. I hope it's a fun class. I hope you could memorize these. I'll revise all of the idioms we did today. We'll revise them tomorrow. And I would expect you to share this video, as I keep reiterating time and again. That is one thing that's going to help me a lot. Okay. Pari has a question. Yes. Pari says, how do I improve logical reasoning? Are you talking of the verbal or non-verbal logical reasoning part? Pari. You, if you are a part of our batches, everything will be taught to you in the class, and you could practice both verbal and non-verbal from R.S. Agarwal or M.K. Pandey. These are good sources of verbal and non-verbal logical reasoning. These are good sources, okay? Thank you, Neha. Thank you, my child. Apart from that, you could just tell me what are the areas that you're confused with, because I'll be coming with a lot of series. If you have any specific area that you're weaker at, I could come up with those classes that I'll be discussing every day. So I'll be bringing classes for 5 classes that will be a part of one series, like we did idioms today. I'll be doing parajumbles in the next one, and then I'll be doing more grammar and critical reasoning and a lot of it. That's going to be both actually, Pari. Pari, then see, actually, it's a whole subject. But remember, you have to start from the scratch. Start with the basic ones. Start improving your logic initially and identify the kind of questions you're weaker at. Then, Pari, identify what sections in LR and CR you are unable to score. Identify those areas. If you're unable to score in assumption questions, so maybe you're unable to score in the series or the figuring questions, whatever you're unable to solve, figure them out, and then we can work on it together. Okay, I hope I was able to answer your question. Okay, guys, have a very good day. I'll see you back tomorrow on at 12:30. CR classes, yes, they'll come up, Neha. Yes, they're in the course of action is also in the plan. I'll be teaching both of it. That's on me. Syllogism B. Okay, I'll start off with syllogism. I can do that. But a lot of BBA examinations do not have syllogism. So yeah, Saman, I'll be coming live tomorrow. See you tomorrow, 12:30. Bye, everyone.